Let's go, y'all. We're going to go live on Instagram and try to let everybody know that we are on live on YouTube. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. I need to see y'all down here in the chat, man. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Y'all put a 1 in the chat. I need to see y'all down in the chat. Marcel, thank you. Put 1 in the chat if you can hear me. We got some craziness going on today. Something that happened yesterday with Capricorn Clark's testimony. Evidence being tampered with that they found out today. And yet and still the prosecution is moving dirty. They would not, looks like they will not allow a mistrial, even though there has been proven of evidence being tampered with. This is getting dirty, y'all. This is getting messy. Thanks to my mods. Smash that like. Make sure you like the stream so it'll get out there in the algorithm. Because we're going to be talking about some stuff, man. We're going to be talking about some stuff. Jay-Z finally comes up in the trial. Cassie. Whoa, boy, oh boy, oh boy. This whole trial, yeah, you're here for it because, you're finding out some stuff, things that I mentioned in the past, right? But so far, this is just one big look into Puff Daddy's love life. It has been a big fat nothing burger so far. Everything that you got gassed up to believe that this trial was going to be. Remember when they were talking about, oh, you think the Epstein trial is bad? Wait until you're just scratching the surface. Wait until you see the Diddy trial and how everybody is Hollywood shaking in their boots. Remember? Salute, Mimi. Remember how they said Hollywood shaking in their boots? The Cash App is $HeavenHollywood. If y'all want to support the stream, support the page. $ is the Cash App, $HeavenHollywood. Please, if you want to support the stream. I'm going to let you know what Jay-Z has to do with Diddy Love Life. I'm going to let y'all know. I'm letting y'all know the exclusive. See, online you don't see the transcripts. Unless you got the transcripts, you're not gonna hear everything. A lot of people out there are skipping things that got to do with people that they don't really want to mention. You gotta remember that. But me, I don't give a F. I gotta mention it. Now, yesterday, Capricorn Clark, at the end of her testimony, where it seemed like she was starting off the testimony praising Cassie, it seems as though by the end of her testimony, she was really, really shading Cassie. And she basically said that, and started crying on the stand with her crocodile tears. She basically said that she always knew that Cassie wanted her out. She said Cassie wanted her out. Such a strange dynamic of that whole thing, because she also is one who continued to go back. right? Just so weird. Make sure you put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. For everybody on Instagram, come over to YouTube. For the ones on Instagram, come over to YouTube. Fucking amazing. You are fucking amazing. What's up? I need y'all to come over to YouTube. Sexy 60 in the building. Darius, Marcel, all the heavy hitters out there. We got everyone that's over on Instagram. Come over to YouTube, the IENetwork. So we're right in the middle again of another day of testimonies after Diddy trial. Now, I don't know about y'all. Who put a 1 in the chat if so far this trial has been everything you thought it would be. Put a 2 in the chat is if you say this has been a big fat nothing burger. So put a 1 in the chat if you're saying this trial is everything I thought it would be. What's up, Shayla Marie? What's up? And put a 2 in the chat if you think this trial has been a big fat nothing burger, not what you expected. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. The way they was amping this up, they were saying that this is gonna be, if we thought that Epstein and Weinstein was gonna be something, wait till you get a load of this. Hollywood's gonna be shaking in its boots. Remember all that stuff? Hollywood is gonna be shaking in its boots. Right? Now, fucking Amazing said she's clutching her pearls. Okay, so, but the reason why you're clutching your pearls is because you're hearing all of the stuff for Diddy and Cassie's love life that we really was not prepared to hear. Nor do I. I'm sorry. I really don't care. I wasn't getting none. I wasn't fucking Cassie. I wasn't involved in the freak off, so I really don't care. Like, I don't care about hearing about Diddy playing with semen and Cassie, smashing on her period. Like, hey, Cece. Cece, we're over on YouTube, too. I'm not really interested in hearing about Cassie smashing on her period or Cassie having men urinate in her mouth. Or, I mean, that stuff, that's not what they told us this trial was going to be. They said this trial was going to be, the biggest trial since OJ. Right? And so far, the only thing that I found out is that Puffy whipped Cassie more than we thought. And that Puffy is freaky and he likes baby oil. But we haven't heard anything about what they said we was going to hear. And if we were going to hear it, they would have let you know in the opening statements. They would have said during this trial, you're going to see names that you never thought you would see. You're going to see misconduct with minors. Like, you're going to see things that's going to bring Hollywood to its knees. Hollywood is not on its knees. They're still out there doing what they've been doing. Ain't nobody scared. You know what I'm saying? So, the only thing that I see here, what's up, Crimson? The only thing that I see here, what's up, Marla, is just a peek into Diddy's love life with Cassie. That's what this case has turned out to be. Yes, Mimi. Thank you. That's the Cash App. Cash App Heaven Hollywood. So that is what it's turned out to be so far. Now we're only on week 3. This is supposed to go 8 weeks, supposed to end in July. But the main witnesses they've got up there, you know, that people are saying, "Oh, Cassie had a baby." Okay, and nobody, you know, I'm not gonna do the whole fake care, like, "Oh yeah, Cassie had a baby. Oh, she probably wouldn't have labor because of the." Nobody cared about Cassie. If this case would have never came up, nobody was mentioning Cassie. Nobody was like saying, "Oh yeah, I wonder when Cassie's gonna drop some new music." Like nobody cared about Cassie. So please don't try to act like you care about her now. People saying, "Oh, why don't you talk about Cassie's new baby?" Why would I? I wasn't talking about her before the trial. There's no reason to talk about Cassie. People have babies every day, B. Now, if she would have went in the labor on the stand, that may have been something to talk about. But she's now on her 3rd kid. It's like, congratulations to her on the new baby, but I'm not going to cover Cassie because she just had a baby when she's already had babies. Like, who cares? Right. I agree. It seems like it's a continuation. Exactly, Marla. This is just part 2 of the Cassie lawsuit. Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, you just hear about, oh, he threatened to kill Kid Cudi. You know, you just heard that, and you just heard that from Capricorn Clark. But did Kid Cudi hear him say? Kid Cudi didn't testify and hear him say he was gonna murk him. He didn't say, "Yo, Cudi, yo, I'm gonna unalive you." He didn't hear that. Capricorn Clark can't even testify to say whether she knew whether Kid Cudi saw Diddy or not. I'll have to check, Mimi. I gotta check after the live, sweetheart. But thank you. Thank you for the Cash App. The Cash App is $ Heaven Hollywood. So we don't even know whether Kid Cudi ever seen. According to his testimony, he never heard Diddy threaten him. He said he saw him and he was calm. And basically told him, "Yo, Playboy, that's my girl. I'm still with her." Cassie was the one playing both sides. There are none. Right, Ruth. Where are the sex trafficking victims? Where are these people? Hey, where are you, Allie Carter? I thought you said you was a victim. Where's Allie Carter? How come she's not up there? Where's Jaguar Wright? How come they're not bringing her to the stand? You know, if this stuff was really legit, you ever think about that when people say, "Oh, Jaguar Wright knows that"? Well, then how come you gonna tell me the government wouldn't take Jaguar Wright as a witness if she was credible? That right there would put the nail in the coffin. That would put the nail in the coffin, wouldn't it? Y'all make sure y'all come on over to YouTube, the IENetwork. But since Jaguar Wright has seen and know everything, wouldn't that be the nail in the coffin for to get her over here? Put her on the stand, and she could nail Diddy to the cross. See, but what happens is you have you gotta be put under oath. You gotta be put under oath. Gene deals in the courtroom clout chasing because there's no reason for him to be in there. All this stuff took place after he wasn't even working with Diddy no more. That's to his own admission. He just wants to be up in there. Now he wants to flex his muscles and act like Billy Badass now that he know Puffy's locked up. But all these people, Puffy, all these people, Albie Shore, Gene Deal, all these people who are Jaguar Wright, all these people now that are trying to flex and act like they're so tough Because they know Puff can't do nothing. Oh, I want to go and look in his eyes. Why didn't you want to go look in his eyes before he was locked up? Right? That's like me saying, oh, I don't give no F about no lion. I don't give no F about no lion, and then just because I know the lion is caged. So I can talk shit to a lion in a cage all day. It's like, why all them years you had a chance to walk up to Puff face to face, but you didn't. I don't give none of these squares, none of these cowards, because that's all you are. I'll be sure you're a coward. Gene Deal, you're a coward. Jaguar Wright, you're a coward. Y'all do all this talking on YouTube. Tisa tells, what you doing out there with two security guards? I thought you always running off at the mouth. Oh, Diddy. Oh, please, Diddy. But then you go out there and you got to have security. When I go cover a story, I don't go with security. You worried about what one of these celebrities or Diddy kids or somebody or one of these YouTubers going to run up on you. Y'all do all that talking. All these YouTubers do all that talking on YouTube, and then you want to get out there and come with security. What you scared of? Stand on what you say. Because they know they be faking, and they know that they tell lies half the time. Yeah, Gene wasn't a part of no damn freak-offs unless he was a part of freak-offs with Kim Porter, because he was not around when Cassie was around. Now, unless he wants to consider that time when Puff was in the hotel with Sarah and Ja Rule was with somebody, you want to consider that a freak-off? He was standing ground outside the hotel. That's kind of like what Capricorn Clark said. Oh, I'd be waiting out, I'd be waiting in the other room in case he called me, or when he was done, then I would go clean the room. Maybe that's what Gene was doing, cleaning up the baby oil and stuff like that. But I never heard him mention that, even before the lawsuit. He never once mentioned anything about cleaning up after freak off or seeing him. Like I said, that was back before Puffy was Diddy. He was still Puff Daddy back then. Yeah, she's hugging all on G. And people fall for her because she's light skinned, she's nice looking, and she's sitting there culture votes herself. She don't know nothing about black culture. She don't like black men. She's married to a white man. She's always got something negative to say about black men. Except people like Kanye West. She likes people like him because he's an agent of chaos and he don't like black people himself. He don't like being black. So that's why Tisa Tells likes black men like Kanye West. Gene Deal wants to lay down with Tisa Tells. That's why he's always giving all these compliments and talking all nice about Tisa Tells. Gene Deal wants to lay down with Tisa Tells. Forget it, Gene. She don't like black men. She uses the black culture to get paid. That's what she been doing. Yeah, I saw Gene saying, "Oh, you can't come in my face, and because I'll knock you out." I saw Gene saying. Then he had other people jumping on Donat or whatever his name is. I saw all those things, but we're gonna get to Jay-Z in a minute. But the testimony today that had everybody buzzing was, come to find out, what's up, Ebony Reed? Come to find out there was some sort of tampering. There was some sort of tampering with the evidence as far as the Molotov cocktail. What else is new? LAPD tampering with evidence and messing stuff up. And Diddy's lawyers right there said this is a file, this is definitely grounds to file a motion for a mistrial. And the judge immediately shut them down. Even knowing that they found out that some evidence may have been tampered with, the LAPD said, oh, they destroyed the evidence. They was given word to destroy the evidence. Ain't that some stuff? When they did that at the OJ trial, they ended up losing the case. But remember they were saying that there was a female DNA, right? Supposed to be a female DNA. And when they were asked about the female DNA, now they got some dude named Nash on there. This dude's a clout chaser too. This dude's a clout chaser. Some dude named Nash. I think he's a stylist or whatever. Everybody's coming up on there basically giving the same testimony. I saw Diddy beat Cassie. Oh, Diddy was mean to me. Oh, Diddy threatened me. Oh, it's another. He threatened to hit me. He pushed me up against this. He put you up against that. Nobody, other than Capricorn Clark saying he threatened to kill her. Nobody else is saying that. Right? But when this Jimenez came on our stage, came to the stand. Now, he is an investigator. I guess he investigated the Molotov cocktail from Kid Cudi. Remember, Kid Cudi said that there was a Molotov cocktail put in his car, right? So, let's see. Craziness. So this guy, Jimenez, they were talking about the results of the DNA. Now, he asked, there was DNA hit on the glass bottle for female DNA, correct? Officer Jimenez says yes. Agnifilio said, do you remember when the results came back? Jimenez said maybe 6 months. Agnifilio, the test on the bottle, it was important? Yes. What does it mean, partial DNA? Jimenez, I have no idea. I was told if we had a suspect, we could test against it. Any other DNA on the bottle? Objection. Rephrase. DX852, just for the witnesses. Agnifilio, there's a glove, right? Jimenez, yes. Did you find another glove? No. Did you test the glove for DNA? No. I understood it belonged to the owner. It was a driving glove. The owner is Kid Cudi. Your premise was that the Molotov cocktail was dropped. Did you think the person who dropped it would have worn a glove? Perhaps. It would have been hot. Only the wick. The damage is on both sides of the bottle, right? Looks like it. Did Mr. Muscuddy have more than one Porsche? I think he had a second one in the garage. Why isn't it in your report? It was not involved. Agnifilio says you were unable to reach Capricorn Clark or Cassie Ventura. When did you reach out? He said in the first few weeks. Are you sure? Acting a fool in front of the court. Exactly, Darius. All of them chasing clout. Chasing clout. They all want to be seen. They see what Armand Wiggins is doing, and now they all in their feelings, and they all want to go out there and try to catch, try to catch a bag like Armand's doing. How'd you get hired to work for them? Through a Craigslist ad for Bad Boy Entertainment. This photo is a fair, accurate portrayal of how you looked at this time. Not even close. It's a glamour photo. Oh no. I'm not looking at this dude. I'm not looking at this dude. I want to talk about the investigator. So it says, Judge, my intent is to strike from the record any testimony about the fingerprint cards and the destruction of them. So the fingerprint cards obviously was destroyed. Right? They were destroyed. This is crazy. So, let's see something here. So here's where the person first came in, right? Ignacio, they were told to destroy. Now, all these black blogs and clout chasers. What's up, Angelic Eyes? What's up, Dawn Slim in the building? Right? So what we have seen here is we still do not have we still don't have proof that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car or that Diddy threw the Molotov cocktail in Kid Cudi's car. We still don't have that proof. Right? We still don't have that proof. So Lance Jimenez is the arson investigator. The arson investigator, because, again, so you read your partner's report? I think in between here is where, right, a lot of this is all hearsay. That's hearsay. So then what they did was they moved for motion to dismiss. But of course, the judge says no. The judge says no, and right away. But there was already determined that there was some sort of evidence tampered with. So it says, what happened to the print cards? That's for the fingerprints. They were destroyed in 2012. On whose orders? Someone in the LAPD. Not you or anyone on your team. Combs and affiliate. I'm going to object to all of this. Can we have a sidebar? Judge says okay. He says, I'm trying to move to get a mistrial because this is crazy. But they will not let them mistrial because my intent is to strike from the record any testimony about the fingerprint cards and the destruction of them. I will note that only answers when that witness knew about the destruction. I sustain the objection to his abnormal. So Combs' lawyer says, we are going to move for a mistrial at this time based on the prosecutorial misconduct has occurred. And this is about the second or third time now. The prosecution continued with this misconduct. They started before the trial even started. What's up, Dangerous? What up, Reggie Love? Fuck your kids. Angelic Eyes. I'm over on YouTube on the IENetwork. So this is the prosecution has constantly shown misconduct, and the defense is pointing it out, but the judge refuses to call this a mistrial. They refuse to grant them motion for mistrial because they already have it. Their plan is to lock Diddy up. This judge, as you can see, he is obviously impressed with these 5 white women, right? He's letting them get away with everything. Most of Diddy's lawyers' objections are being overruled. And the only ones that he lets be sustained is the ones that he knows aren't really going to make a difference. But any of the big ones, overruled. But he's trying to make it look fair by letting some of them go through. But the ones that he sustains really don't mean much or nothing. So Cohen Shapiro said, yeah. Alexander Shapiro said, we're going to move for mistrial based on the prosecutorial misconduct that occurred. Some prospective jurors said Mr. Combs could buy his way out. This type of conspiracy is out there, and this bought into it. Cohen Shapiro, they should have ended with when the fingerprint cards were destroyed. But they asked, did he authorize it? There's no way to unring this bell. The only proper remedy here is a mistrial. Said, of course, the AUSA, that's absolutely unwarranted. It was Mr. Agnifilio who wanted to inquire into the DNA, into the investigation. Your Honor can just say that the jurors should not draw any inference from the destruction. Yeah, but like he said, you can't unring the bell. Exactly, Mimi. They're not being served up. What's up, so amazing? What's up, Love 2? Diddy's lawyers, and this is what I'm saying. They need tapioca pudding. They need Alex Spiro. Like Diddy needs some people. Brian Steele, I don't know where the Brian Steele from the Young Thug trial is, but somebody need to find them. And these other lawyers, Diddy needs to, let's say, look, y'all just sit on the side and take notes or go get coffee or something. I only really want Teeny, Brian Steele, and Nicole Westmoreland. I really just want Brian Steele and Nicole Westmoreland because these other people, Agnifilio hasn't been good from the beginning. He hasn't been able to get any motions thrown out. He couldn't get the freak off tapes brought in when he wanted it. He couldn't get people anonymous to show their face. He couldn't get bail even after Diddy offered $50 million and everybody's playing under the sun. He hasn't done anything yet to benefit Diddy. All he's doing is taking Diddy money. Oh, will the court tell the juries they're not to be considered? That's the same thing as them saying, don't discuss this with your wife. Okay, but then you don't make them stay in the court until it's over. A case like this, you should have made, if you said it's bigger than Epstein, it's bigger than this, it's bigger than that, why are these jurors able to go home? They shouldn't even be able to go home. They should be put in a hotel room where they can't read anything online. But that was the big thing with the tampering. LAPD told them to destroy it. Now, let's get to Jay-Z. Another thing is the male dancer Punisher has now apologized to Kathy for the freak-offs. Now, everybody's going to apologize to Kathy now, and she's going to be made a victim when she's really not a victim. But now he's saying, oh, I didn't know you were going through something. So I apologize to Cassie for having her do free calls. What's up, Serenity? Yep, sequester the jury. That's what it should be. They should have been sequestered so they can't hear no more, because they go home and they hear all these rumors and then they get the wrong idea about the trial. And they just sit back, oh, I can't wait until the drug baby oil comes up. Oh, I can't wait until this celebrity and that celebrity and J-Lo. And they've been hearing that all these celebrities are going to be involved. And that's what they get in their head. When in reality, there are no other celebrities involved. Now, it's been 3 weeks. You ain't heard nothing about nobody else. But we did hear today, yesterday, at the end of the day, Jay-Z has now been dragged into this trial. And I'll tell you how. So, as we all know, Capricorn Clark took the stand yesterday. And she started just name dropping everybody. She name dropped 50 Cent. She name dropped Suge Knight. She named Jimmy Iovine and what's his name? Larry Jackson. She named all these people that she really wasn't supposed to name. Capricorn Clark was bringing up names that she really shouldn't have been naming. So when Chris Lighty, she brought Chris Lighty up. We're doing good, Serenity, baby. So now, yesterday it was as they're talking to Capricorn. Cassie Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs' relationship was the topic of conversation when his former assistant met with his attorneys to discuss working for him again. In April 2024, after federal agents had raided Combs' homes in Miami and Los Angeles, Capricorn Clark and her lawyer met with his attorneys to discuss coming back to work. Now remember what she said, all these things yesterday. He beat up Cassie, he beat up her. He's now fired her twice. He kicked her out of her home twice. But yet and still in 2024, she's meeting up with lawyers to attempt to come back and work again as his chief of staff. Right? During the cross-examination, Combs' attorney, Mark Anafilio, asked Clark about a discussion they had during that meeting when Clark said she told Ventura that she should leave Combs and date other people, given their tumultuous relationship. Capricorn Clark said Cassie Ventura told her, well, I would, but Jay-Z is taken. Who would she date? Who would you date? Cassie Ventura said, when she said date other people, Cassie said, well, Jay-Z is taken. Woo! Jay-Z is taken. Who would you date? That's what she asked. So that just goes to show she was a corporate ladder climber. She updated from Ryan Leslie to Puffy. Now she names Jay-Z, and ironically, we all know Jay-Z was the step above Puffy. She said Jay-Z is taken. That got discussed in court yesterday. That got discussed in court yesterday. And Capricorn Clark was dropping a lot of names. She said that Jimmy Iovine came and threatened her. Jimmy Iovine and Larry Jackson pretty much told her to leave Puffy alone, and this would not end well for you if you did not. I said, man, oh man, oh man. Just dropping names. People that don't even have anything to do with the lawsuit. What's up, Simply Runea? Yeah, she went into labor yesterday. Which was around the time, people try to make it seem as though, oh, she went into labor because of everything she was going through. No, this was around the time she's supposed to go into labor anyway. This is what she's supposed to go into labor anyway. So people try to make it seem as though like, oh, it had something to do with the court, with Diddy's. I mean, with the child. She was supposed to go in there anyway. Capricorn Clark was the one. She also testified and was shading Cassie yesterday by saying she felt as though Cassie had no talent, and she also felt as though Cassie wanted her gone. What's up, Chadwick? We're over on YouTube on the IENetwork. She felt as though Cassie wanted her gone. She was basically telling Cassie that she wasn't right for Puffy. Now, it also got exposed yesterday after Capricorn Clark said, oh, yeah, we've always been platonic. It's a platonic relationship, 1,000% platonic. And they said, but didn't you tell Puffy in these emails or text messages that you've always had a crush on him? But you two, I guess you two never paid attention because you were friends. But I just want you to know I always had a crush on you. Now, this is after the beatings. This is after he's already beaten Cassie. It's after she's already been fired 2 times. I just want you to know I had a crush on you, she said. I've always had a crush on you. So Capricorn Clark, when it comes down to resting their case, they're going to bring that back up. So she sat and said, we always been platonic. We were friends, this, that, and the third. But were you platonic because you wanted to be, or platonic because he wanted to be? Because it sounds like you would have been for the shits if he made a move on you. Because you let him know, oh, I guess you didn't take me serious because I've always had a crush on you. And it was a couple of times where it looked like it was going to go there, but we just stopped it. That don't sound like somebody who was platonic because they wanted to be platonic or because they wasn't attracted to Diddy. Just seems like y'all was at the right place, wrong time, or however that goes. What's up, Deviant? Nicknamed him Chalk for chocolate. See what I'm saying? Little stuff like that. What's up, Couture Bay? Listen while getting ready. I appreciate you listening. So people was going to wonder when the Jay-Z thing came in, and you can just tell from Cassie's response. I would, but Jay-Z's already taken. So that means she was always thinking about climbing the ladder. She was with Puff, and then she's like, well, instead of dating Kid Cudi, instead of saying, yeah, I should go back to Kid Cudi, she basically said, well, Jay-Z's taken. So she was already thinking ahead, like once I leave Diddy, I have to go to somebody who is bigger than her, is bigger than him. Right? And Capricorn Clark, who sat there and said, oh, no, we're platonic. But then they asked her about some emails about her saying, yeah, I always had a crush on you, chalk, for short for chocolate. And yeah, I didn't know what to think about it. I know there was a couple of times where it seemed like we locked hard and we were on the same page, but then it just never went there. So she sounds like if Diddy wanted to put her in a freak off, she would have did it. Now, she also revealed yesterday that Diddy would go to the hotel with Kim Porter. However, people ran with that like, see, Kim Porter was doing freak offs too. But she never mentioned sex workers for Kim Porter. And there was no sex workers. If there was sex workers that slept with Kim Porter, I'm sure they would have found them too. Because it was California. I believe he just used to go to the hotel with her, probably use the baby oil like he did with everybody. But trust me, if she was doing some freak offs, they will find a person, at least one, who said, "Oh yeah, I had a freak off with them." But as I said, this right now to me, and I know we're only on week 3. To me, it seems like one big deep dive. Like someone said, it seems like part 2 to Cassie's lawsuit. And it seems like one big look into Puffy's bedroom where I really didn't want to look. That's what this whole case seems to me like. A bunch of a man uh, who had money and who thought that because he had money and because he put you in a particular place, he could use those threats to scare you into doing something. But this is not organized crime. Organized crime is a person who already knows that they're in this to cover up crimes. All of these fights and stuff like that, they were not organized where it's like, okay, we're gonna go and we're going to, uh, you know, bomb his car, and then we're gonna go. We have to murder this person, and then once I do, let's set the garbage bags up, and you guys come in the garbage. That's organized crime. This is not organized crime. This is a toxic relationship with a guy who's jealous as heck, and I never believed for 1 minute that he was ever at that point in his career. How would he's gonna murder Kid Cudi and it's gonna eventually come back on him. He's gonna go to jail for murdering Kid Cudi. I'm already disappointed at Puffy for all the stuff that he did. Now you have a very good chance of being sent to prison for the rest of your life because of all this stuff you did over Cassie, and you ain't even with the broad no more. You ain't even with the broad no more. And you did all that. Make sure you'll hit the like button and also share the stream. You did all of that shenanigans. Now you might go to jail for the rest of your life, and you ain't even with Cassie no more. But again, this is not what it was. Where are, the person testified. And that's why I said Diddy's lawyers need to be making a big deal about this. They should say, listen, we move into this whole thing has been a scam from the beginning. Y'all put out there, the government put out there about the baby oil. Said there's $1,000 of baby oil. How come I want to testify to someone who said they found 1,000 bottles? And they should come here with all those bottles in boxes. And we better be able to count 1,000. The lady testified and said she found 25 bottles. That's nowhere close to 1,000. But that's what they put out there to solidify the whole thing. Exactly, Couture. That's what. But these people like Tisa Tells and these people are going out there saying that Kim Porter was doing freak offs because he said he spent the night in the hotel with her one night a week. They did that because they had kids at the house and they couldn't do what they wanted to do with the kids around. So that's the reason why he took her to hotels. And remember, he said he only bought about, if it was a freak off, it would be a whole bunch of baby oil. What did Capricorn Clark say? Oh, a bottle of baby oil, a bottle of lube. One night a week. Freak offs, they said, what, 2 and 3 days. And there was never ever any sex workers mentioned with Kim Porter. So Kim Porter was not involved in freak offs. That was just alone time with Diddy that they would not be able to do at home. They can't be at home and be breaking out baby oil and whatever else. I don't know whether she was doing drugs, whether she was doing Molly or whatever the case may be. Kim Porter she looked like she got high. They probably got high, and he have one bottle of baby, but that wasn't like that with Cassie. Cassie was many bottles of baby oil, other dudes. Diddy is not going to share his baby mother with other dudes. He's not going to do that. He didn't love Cassie like that. That's obvious. He just wanted to, once he realized, it's kind of like with Chris Brown and Carucci. Chris Brown realized he loved Carucci later, but in the beginning, he was just wanting Carucci around because she let him do threesomes, and Rihanna wasn't going to let him do no threesomes. So he was like, man, this girl let me do whatever I want to do. So I want to keep her. Now, over a period of time, he grew to love her, but initially, he just wanted Carucci because Carucci let him do the threesomes. So Diddy just had Cassie. He was more in lust with Cassie and her sexual pride because he couldn't get that from nobody else. His baby mamas wasn't going to act like that. Sarah wasn't going to act like that. Misa wasn't going to act like that. Kim Porter wasn't going to act like that. They not letting nobody pee in their mouth. Cassie, you see what he said, Capricorn Clark said. He'd tell her, here, come over here. Here, turn around. He'd get that. He'd walk there and get that. He'd give it here. Now go in the other room. Kim Porter and them wasn't going to do that. They'd have been like, nigga, you out your mind? Like, who you talking to like that? But Cassie was younger. What did he say? She's young. I can mold her the way I want. You couldn't mold them other chicks. He couldn't mold Kim Porter and Misa and Sarah. They were older women. And they had known him for so many years. So that's the whole thing. So far to me, like I said, this has been one big nothing burger. And what people are trying to do is they're mad that it's a nothing burger. So they're trying to turn it into something it ain't. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to turn this into something it's not. Come on, where's the celebrity sex tapes y'all said y'all had? Courtney Berger and Jaguar Wright and what's the girl's name? The girl is so-called missing. Allie Carter. Where's these sex? Where's y'all the victims, right? How come they're not calling y'all to the stand? Jaguar Wright, how come they're not calling you to the stand? Allie Carter, why ain't they calling you to the stand? I thought that what was that lawyer's name? The black lawyer? I thought you said you delivered sex tapes to the grand jury. How come they haven't mentioned that? How come they brought that up? You had celebrity sex tapes to the grand jury, even one with a minor, a white pop star minor. You know they were trying to assume it was Justin Bieber. Oh, when he was 16. Well, where is it? They would have been brought them charges up on him. They wouldn't be able to wait to bring them charges like that on Diddy if those charges really exist. Yeah, Ariel Mitchell. This case is, thank you, Ariana. This case is about Diddy and Cassie's sex life. That's all. And they with sex workers and this, that, and the third, and That's the only thing I found out. I ain't found out nothing. I haven't found out nothing what can I do with this information? What can I do with this information? Nothing. What up, Uncle Mook? They even lied about the damn baby oil. Woman came up there and said 25. How many bottles of baby oil did you find? Oh, about 25 bottles. 25? I thought y'all said 1,000. Wow, and see how nobody talks about it? And all they did was make fun of Diddy all these months, almost a year straight. Oh, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Oh, baby oil. Oh, baby oil. Oh. But then when you find out it's 25 bottles, nobody says nothing. Now Diddy done endured all this. Kids made fun of, all these baby oil memes and baby oil jokes. Come to find out, they were lying the whole time. To solidify this and mess up the jury pool. So anybody that's sitting on that jury right now, they've all seen the videotape and they've all heard about the baby oil. So they're hoping to corrupt their minds already before the thing starts, which they probably have. Now we're finding all this evidence being tampered and the prosecution, doing things underhanded, and then the judge won't even grant the defense anything because the judge is also in on, he also wants Diddy to go down. Put 5 white women on the prosecution, and all the black people that's sitting there against Diddy. Y'all don't see this play? Y'all don't see the play? Sad, man. Sad. And in closing, I'll just say this, and anybody can get mad all they want to. For all the people saying, oh, Cassie went into labor. Oh, Cassie had a baby. In the words of the great Humphrey Bogart, frankly, my darling, I don't give a damn.